It's just true. You know,
Oh man.
I
Let's
know
talk.
you were kind of at it, but I'll let you talk about it.
All right, Bombuzal. Uh, I don't like this game. I don't like this game at all. Like this is a stark difference from Magical Drop 2. But let's not even talk about Magical Drop 2. Let's just focus on this game for what it is. Let me start with aesthetic stuff first before I go into technical stuff. This game looks awful, awful. Like it's like Super Nintendo games, in my opinion, actually for the most part hold up very well graphically. If you look at games like Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Zelda, Kirby, all those games, Super Metroid, you can play them today and they still look really good because 16
Yeah,
sprite work holds up pretty well. This game though, it decided it wanted to be it decided it wanted to do like this whole PC thing, be on Super Nintendo, and nothing looked good. The art, the beginning artwork looks. The first off, the box art of the game looks bad. The artwork of the title screen looks bad. The font of the game looks like it came from the NES era and is not doesn't feel like it fits with the Super Nintendo game. The gameplay itself looks terrible. The character does not look good. The backgrounds of the blue hurts your eyes. I thought we were past that with this era, but apparently there are some games that have decided to still do something like that. And yeah, that's what I got for aesthetics. And then let's talk about the gameplay. It's very bare bones. It's very bare bones. Like you got the game, and then you got the password system, and that's pretty much it. You're just. I will give the game one prop that it has a two-player mode. A game like this could have easily gotten away with not even having that, but it did
yeah,
have a two-player mode. But the way that it utilizes two-player is very arcade slash NES like, where it's not like you're actually working together or anything like that, or you're competing against each other. You're just literally taking turns to see who can get to the end of the game, which it's fine. Like Super Mario Brothers was fine having a feature like that. Other arcade games are fine having a feature like that, but like it feels dated even for this era to have that something like that just to be your two-player mode for a Super Nintendo game. Better than nothing, but it's not great. Then let's talk about the gameplay. The way the camera's movement made it very awkward to move around with. You were able to figure out some of the mechanics near the end, so I won't. What a few of the complaints I was gonna say, I withdraw because if you were able to figure out like the objective and like how to move the bombs and whatnot. But even so, like it's basically more like it's barely a puzzle game. Like it's obviously a puzzle that you're trying to solve, but it feels almost more tactical. But the fact that you have like a top-down view if you want it, and then the isometric view, um, it feels like it feels like a subpar NES game that happens to be a Super Nintendo game. That's kind of my impression I'm getting from it. Before I say any more, go ahead and tell me your thoughts.
I think the uh, I mean the isometric view it was bad. It kind of killed it
Mm-hmm.
because the way you gotta figure out the controls is just because you only get a D-pad, so you just go up, down, left, right, and the isometric kind of threw you off.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you went the wrong way, and that the steps you gotta take here they gotta be precise because it is a
Yes.
puzzle game. So you gotta if you get to go into those tiles
Mm-hmm.
that break and then accidentally do it because you know that you're thrown off,
Mm-hmm.
then you're just screwed and you probably just gotta restart.
Yeah, I can
But I
definitely.
think there was it's solid gameplay. If you like that sort of stuff, it just looked bad. It did look bad,
Yeah,
but the gameplay was solid. Like there's something there. I'm not mad at the gameplay,
but
and
yeah, go ahead.
but the to look at that all day,
Yeah, that
it's
would hurt your
just you
eyes.
gotta yeah.
That would
It's like when
definitely.
you go see an old 3D movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it looks like somebody made this in their basement.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Like one
that.
person just spent like maybe a week on it.
Yeah,
Although the people make much better games than like those indie game marathon things that happen
yeah. Those
sometimes.
indie marathons. I love seeing what kind of games come out of those
Yes,
things.
yes,
Those are
those are
the.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, now people have much better computers. But this one, it looks like somebody made it with a back then computer.
yeah, I agree. Definitely. So Rodrigo, with what you said that you think there's something there, and
There
like
is
you.
something there. Is it? I just couldn't figure out how to. I think you have to pick up the bomb and that last thing. But there, the gameplay, the puzzle is there. You
Hmm.
just gotta figure out.
Okay.
But the way the background is, and the way the little thing, whatever that is, it just makes it bad. Like doesn't
Yeah.
make you want to stick with it.
Yeah, and that's the question I was gonna pose to you next. With you saying that, do you think this game holds up?
Well, the gameplay holds up, but once you have the aesthetics and the annoying music, it, it was the same song
Yeah.
the whole time. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
After I made it, the first time we heard it, oh, well, that's not bad for what it is. But then I got into the further levels, and the music didn't change. It was just the same song over and over and over and over and over and over. No, I cannot. You will dream this song if you play this for like 2 hours. You'll be in bed
Oh,
trying to sleep, but then you have this song stuck in your head, and then all you see is blue tile. I think it's a nightmare game. I think,
it
but it's
looks like
not a
it.
bad game.
It looks like a nightmare. This game, honestly, it feels like a fever dream. This whole game feels like a fever dream. So okay, so here's my counter to what you said.
All right,
I agree. I agree with what you said. Like I personally didn't feel it, but like you said, the gameplay was there, and if it's your thing that you can enjoy it, that's totally cool. But as
I
far as
recommend
whether
it.
whether I would say this game like holds up or not, I'm gonna say no, and the reason why I say that is because the package itself, like everything included, like not just the gameplay, doesn't it leads me to not want to even give it another chance at all because with Magical Drop 2. I mean the art style you could take it or leave it, but for the most part the gameplay at least
Yeah, it's
was
charm.
fun. It has charm, and there's a lot there. Like Magical Drop 2, it's an easy to play. First of all, that's another thing we didn't comment on. Bombuzal, if you didn't read all 2 pages of that guide, you're not getting this game. Like you're not figuring out what to do. Again, so it's unlike Magical Drop 2, which you could pick up and play instantly and have a good time. This one, you feel I had to take a damn class just to like know how to play the game, and then you can enjoy the gameplay that you mentioned. And if you're willing to do all that work, then yeah, there is something there for you if you really want to give it a shot. No doubt, I agree. But
And if you don't like having sight the next day, yeah, go for it.
yeah, if you don't like having sight the next day, yeah, there's too much. There's too much non-gameplay stuff that's working against this game for me to morally say it does hold up. Again, especially talking about Magical Drop 2, there's so much more there. It's an easier game to get, but it has more depth. There's all those different modes. Bamboozled, it's it feels like a dated game in more ways than one. Like it's a '92 game that felt like it was made in '85, just with like slightly better graphics, and that's kind of my take from it. Um, yeah, so you're sticking by your does hold up for you?
Well, the gameplay holds up, but with the aesthetics and overall, I don't think it does.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
Um,
just the gameplay. If you put that gameplay with better looks, just change it to like 8-bit maybe, or do the anime aesthetic. It's a playable game.
yeah, maybe if it,
But
maybe if it did actually come out in '85, it would be a lot more fun. I could probably get behind this more if it wasn't so ugly. But I also just didn't like the gameplay itself myself. So that's another thing. The reason why I was like asking that is because for the most part, whenever I've like had a guest on to talk about the game, there's been mostly agreement about whether it held up or didn't hold up. But most interestingly, about like 2 episodes ago, I think it was. I maybe 3. I had Toby on. We played 2 games. One of them was the game called the Peacekeepers, and that was the very first time in the series that we actually had a complete disagreement on whether or not we thought a game held up. Peacekeepers, I thought held up. He did not think that, and we both had very good, in my opinion, had very good points on for our
yeah,
own things. And
was it a beat 'em up?
Peacekeepers is a beat 'em up. Yep.
Okay.
We had played the Peacekeepers and Brawl Brothers that day. We were both in agreement that Brawl Brothers doesn't hold up, but Peacekeepers was more of like, well, it had this, but it didn't have this, and it was kind of like a little back and forth there.
Yeah.
But Bamboozle, for me, it doesn't hold up. For you, the gameplay at least does.
The
So
gameplay, I mean, I told you the gameplay's there, but it's just all the package together. No,
yeah,
does not hold up.
yeah. If you're like with Magical Drop 2, me and Rodrigo like were saying yes, give this game a try. It's fun. Bamboozle, if you're really curious, there's something you can find there that can possibly enjoy you. But for the average person who has like 1,000 games in their backlog, that's not something I could tell you to give the try. To do your homework on how this game plays and then play it. And I certainly couldn't like you and I having this two-player thing. We're probably one of maybe 7 people in the whole world that are gonna get together to play Bomboozle together. Like,
Yeah,
and the
no,
other
not gonna happen.
and the other 23 that are interested in this game will play it by themselves. That's about the metrics we're looking at right now. It's
Yeah,
it's it's a, it's yeah. That's
sounds
Bomboozle.
right.
It's wow. That's that game. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for the night then.